Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at some dangerous places you're not allowed to visit.
North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island is one of the Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal.
If I am correct, this is like an island that has like tribes on it and no humans are allowed on it. Basically, if humans go onto that island, the tribe will kill you. I don't know when the last person was killed on it, but I know that they were like killed.
It is officially under Indian government, but it is actually inhabited by tribal Sentinel people.
I mean, I think that's kind of cool, isn't it? Like, tribes are people in like groups of tribes, but they're not like with the normal population of people. I just find it interesting, like they've got their own language, like they've got like their own way of life.
These dangerous aborigines avoid any contact with civilization and furiously resist any interference.
Exactly, if you try to interfere with them, they will literally go down and take your life. I think a while ago somebody went onto the island and they got killed.
According to scientists, they have spent about 60,000 years isolated from any other civilization.
60,000 years? Wow, that is a long time. That is way before Christ as well. How many years was that before Christ? 58,000. It is quite crazy how like them people have survived so long on an island. But I mean, that's the way life is. It is just so fascinating, isn't it?
They are very severe when defending their territory, and they are certainly going to kill any intruder. Some of their last victims were fishermen that got lost and ended up in the island. After that, Indian authorities urged citizens to keep away from these people.
Exactly, like they obviously don't want to communicate with normal people. Well, let's say that we're normal, but to them they're normal and we're not. I just think it's so like fascinating, like they are literally in a tribe.
Certsi Island. In 1963, a volcanic eruption took place in the southern part of Iceland.
Whoa, look at that explosion. Okay, can we just like acknowledge how that was caught on camera? That's like so cool, isn't it? Like they literally showed us the explosion. I think volcanoes are so interesting. Didn't one recently erupt near a place called Tonga or something like that? I swear like a big volcano erupted.
4 years later, an island with a size of 1 square mile was formed. It was called Certsi. It is one of the most recently formed islands in the world.
I mean, it's a recently formed island. Does that mean people are going to be able to live on it? I'm not the best at knowing stuff about islands, but I mean, I'd love to live in like an island with a volcano. Actually, it's probably not the best thing to say. I swear in Scotland somewhere like part of the country is like under a dormant volcano. I don't know if that's correct though.
Since its appearance, the island has aroused interest from scientists all over the world, being a wonderful example of the uprising of a whole new ecosystem. Nowadays, no humans are allowed on the island, except for scientists.
I mean, yeah, that does make a lot of sense considering like it's a new island. Wait, so are they able to get onto the island and do like experiments? That's actually quite cool, isn't it? Like that used to be underwater. Imagine one day they're all on it and then they get sucked back into the ground.
Gruinard Island. The British government bought the Gruinard Island from Scotland in 1942.
Wait, the British government bought an island? In Northern Ireland, there's like wee islands like that out in the sea. I don't think people live in them, maybe like a few people do. I thought they were just like random islands. Imagine if you like bought your own island like that. That would be so cool. Like you literally have your own wee house and your own wee island and nobody can like talk to you and like contact you.
To test biological weapons, in particular the Siberian Plague. During an experiment, it was discovered that anthrax had polluted the territory.
Okay, so they literally bought an island to do experiments on. Did they not realize that like it's gonna get into the water and like infect all the fish? I mean, that was back in like the 1900s. Oh my god, that's quite scary. Like, is that why you're not allowed on that island? I mean, it would make sense considering they were literally testing chemical bombs.
Causing death in 95% of cases. Until 1980, the island was one of the most dangerous places in the world. It was only in 1986 when scientists finally started cleaning it.
Okay, so they started to clean it years after. And also, I swear they had a 95% chance of dying. Coronavirus is like 0.0001. Imagine if people got that sickness.
And in 1990, it was claimed safe for visiting. Nevertheless, no one has ever settled there. Experts warn about some Siberian Plague spores left in the ground, and that can only mean one thing: humans won't be able to live there for hundreds of years.
I mean, maybe it's best if humans don't live there considering they literally used it to like test chemicals. I'm telling you, if somebody lived there and they give birth to a baby, the baby would come out with 4 heads. I don't know stuff about like biochemicals and stuff like that. It's interesting, but like it's quite scary as well.
Poveglia Island in Italy. It is officially closed for tourists, but that wouldn't stop a real mystic enthusiast, right? The fact is that the history of this island is really horrid.
If I am correct, this is like an island that had like a jail on it. I think we've looked at this before in another video. to. I'm not sure if it is the island I'm thinking of, but basically, like, you can't get onto this island because it was like a jail or something like that.
In the 16th century, during a plague epidemic, Venice exiled many of its symptom-bearing citizens there, and the corpses were burned on giant pyres in order to stop the disease from spreading.
Okay, never mind, it's to do with the plague. I thought it had to do with jail. Can we also talk about how they just showed us like a load of skulls? Think of it, that used to be a human. History's quite interesting, but it's also really scary.
In 1922, a hospital for the mentally ill was settled in the island, and awful legends started to appear, like the one about the doctor who supposedly tortured patients and used them as guinea pigs, or another one about patients and staff seeing departed souls.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, like, that is just scary. A lot of stuff like that probably has happened in places like that that's been covered up. Think of it, how many things have been covered up in this world? I don't know who to trust.
The island is often called the Gates of Hell, or a shelter for lost souls. As a result, it is now abandoned, and even local fishermen try to stay away from it, so you'll hardly find a boat to take you there.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, YouTubers should just do a 24-hour challenge there. 24 hours surviving in like the most haunted island in the world. I mean, I probably wouldn't go there because it's really moldy and because of like the past. Who wants to go somewhere where loads of people died?
Room 39 in North Korea.
Okay, it's to do with North Korea, so of course you're not allowed to go there. A lot of people always sit back and say, oh my god, my life sucks, like I hate living in the UK or USA. I don't think they realize how lucky they are to live in a country like America. If you compare America to North Korea, it is a lot different. Like, you don't have any rights in North Korea. I heard something where like they've got a photo of Kim Jong-un in each house. If the photo isn't dusted, like if there's a tiny bit of dust, they literally kill the whole bloodline. To me, that's just terrifying. And people were comparing COVID lockdowns and COVID vaccines to North Korea. Catch a grip.
It sounds like a name for a horror movie, not without reason, because the kind of things that happened in that room are really thriller-like. The Room 39 is located in Pyongyang and belongs to a secret government organization, even though the operations performed in there are mostly illegal. There is some evidence that this is the place where a lot of illicit schemes, for instance document forgery, counterfeiting, drug production and many other things take place.
Exactly, like I wonder how many sketchy things go on in countries like North Korea. There was like an episode of The Simpsons where they put like a big glass dome around the country, and that's basically what North Korea is like. It's very hard to get in, but it's also impossible to get out.
Of course, you, normal folks, are banned from this place. It is much safer to keep away from it, otherwise you can become an unwanted witness of something illegal, and you know what they do in those cases.
Exactly, like you will literally disappear, never be seen of or heard of ever again. It's so scary how governments in countries like that are. Like, they are just like so like, oh, I don't know, there's just like a fear in the air. I hate it.
Area 51 in the US. Our list wouldn't be complete without the notorious Area 51. It is located northwest from Las Vegas, and since 1950, it serves to mysterious state purposes. Nowadays, no one still knows what it is actually used for.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's probably used just like test stuff or like build stuff. A lot of people seem to think that like it's got aliens. I'm pretty sure if they wanted to hide aliens, we wouldn't know about it. Let's be honest, it's the government. If they want to hide something, they'll hide it. We'll never hear about it. I've got feeling it's probably used to like build and test aircrafts. That's probably what it's for. I don't think it's got to do with like aliens and other stuff like that.
But of course there are some rumors. Some people say that the US government uses it for developing and testing new weapons. Others think that they keep in there a UFO which landed decades ago.
Nah, I would say it's got to do with like making stuff like airplanes, helicopters, rockets, or maybe like testing stuff out. I don't think they've got aliens in there.
But according to the official line, they develop experimental flying machines and armament systems in there. Both access to the base and airspace around are limited.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what I think it's for. Let's be honest, yet again, if the government did not want you to know about stuff, you wouldn't know about stuff. They probably have made contact with aliens, let's be realistic. But they obviously have places where nobody knows, like in mountains and like underground. Anyways, guys, that is the end of the video. That's some places you're not allowed to visit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually quite intrigued. Like, I want to visit these places. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, press the red subscribe button, and yes, I'll see you all in the next video.